The presidency has cleared the air on the different interpretation drawn from the concluding remarks of the President Muhammadu Buhari during his visit to Imo State. Special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, says the purveyors of misinformation have deliberately contorted the president's speech out of context. Well, he spoke to Rise News. This is what he had to say.
Well, for the president to visit a place, as you know, perhaps better than any other person, he would often be invited. So, the president was invited by the governor of Imo State to visit, and the president obliged. That's the first part of your question. Now, the second part, some people saying the president was not welcome in the East. Who dare say that about an elected president that is not welcome in any part of the country that elected him? And did they forget that this president had fought for the unity of the country? For 30 months, the civil war lasted. He was right there at the front. He says it, that he didn't take a leave off for one day that the civil war lasted. So a man that has fought 30 months to keep a country united, you don't say he can't get to any part of that country. I think that's a huge joke. And again, the president is the Ogbuagu of Aba in the East. You know what Ogbuagu means? The lion killer. So how can you tell a chief not to visit any part of a place where he is a local chief? He's chief in Aba, he's chief in EBONYI, he's chief in Maku, in Enugu, and then you say he can't come to where he holds titles? No, that is never done. It's never done. And then again, he is an elected president, not appointed. Not appointed. He was elected. And the Nigerian constitution has so done it that you can never be president unless it is a representative vote around the country. If you don't have a certain percentage distributed across a certain number of states in the country, you can't be president. So if he fulfilled all the conditions of being elected president, how can some people now say, you can't come? No, it's never done.
Joining us to discuss the aftermath of President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to the Southeast and developments in Ebonyi State is Ebonyi State Commissioner of Information, Uchenna Orji. I want to say thank you very much. And the president's visit to the Southeast has drawn quite a lot of divergent opinions, and we heard from Femi Adesina setting the record straight on some. For those in the Southeast, how was the reception and how did they receive the president to that particular region of Nigeria?
Well, as a matter of fact, the leaders of the Southeast came together from all parts of the Southeast, the 5 states of Southeast, to welcome Mr. President, their president. And it must be noted that this is not the first time that Mr. President is coming to the Southeast. In Ebonyi State, in the first tenure of the administration of Mr. President, he visited Ebonyi State and slept over, and that was going to be the first time he was coming to the Southeast. And he relaxed and did the flag off and laid the foundation for some projects that we had at that time. And so for him coming again to Imo State, it's actually a presidential working visit, and in line with the principle of presidentialism or presidential system of government under a federal system. President is at liberty to respond to requests to visit states, to commission projects, also engage stakeholders. So for us, it was an opportunity for him to meet with the leader. It was not an all-commerce affair, as a matter of fact. And let me diffuse insinuations and impressions that people said he shouldn't come. It's not true. That could have emanated from faceless persons. I must tell you, all organizations, all leaders, of course, in Southeast, we have Ohanes and Dibo. That is the socio-cultural organization that is in charge of all organizations in Saudi. So they were there, live and direct, welcomed him, appreciated him, admired him, his courage to continue to confront the security situation in the country. Let me mention that insecurity did not start under the administration of Mr. President. You recall that even before he came on board, these people were going to really have their incursion into the federal capital city. We were bombing here and there. But when Mr. President came, I'm sure the situation is never the same. But then we need to appreciate that security is not the doing of Mr. President. It's not the doing of the Mr. Governor or the governors. It's the doing of all us sundry. We must have our hands on deck to ensure that we get everybody to appreciate that security is what we must all have to work together. But then we need to appreciate that issues causing insecurity are known, marginalization, underdevelopment, unemployment, and all of that. I think we need to all come together to see how we can address all the issues. Mr. President is doing quite a lot in the area of agricultural development, social interventions, through SIP programs, and of course trying to give a sense of belonging to parts of the zones of the Federation. I understand that the second Niger Bridge is quite going on. The international airport, that is Academy International Airport, is being done. And of course, our critical roles are being given attention. So all we need is that we need to engage all the people that are having all of these grievances and see how we can move forward, to engage the relevant authorities to see how we can assuage those feelings.
Okay, so it seems like the president came, he saw a bunch of the projects that were being commissioned. They all looked fine. The stakeholders got their chance to present to him and the higher government officials their own sides. But what about the regular people of Ebonyi State, the ones who don't hold elected official positions, who are just the average man on the street? How do you think they felt about the president coming and then not being able to go and see them personally?
Yeah, we do operate what is called the indirect democracy, not direct democracy, of course, And the leaders have the trust and the confidence of the people. And when the president was to come, the leaders had to go and receive him. And of course, they have to come back to inform the people about the outcome of the president's visit. Let me say that there's no need to even continue to, give attention to all of these side impressions that people wouldn't want the president to come to South. Is far from that. Let me tell you, the president, is the civilian president. He was one time a military president, and we had his deputy that was. And we'll see a working relationship. And people were calling it either Buhari administration or Idebo administration. And that goes to show that the man has a mature temperament. It goes to show that he has a level of candor and, of course, commitment towards ensuring that he delivers in his administration. I think at this point we need to really be focused and see how to address those vital issues that are militating against the security of our country.
So what I meant with that last question was about the IPOB sit-at-home order, talking about insecurity in the nation. It's for the average man, it's a little bit scary. So I was just wondering if you could
sit-at-home is never a legitimate order, as it were, though it was born out of a lot of feelings and impressions about successive administrations as far as Southeast is concerned. But our governments of different jurisdictions within the Southeast have continued to engage our people, that is, those who are really involved in this agitation, who are involved in spreading the message of this sit-at-home order. But then what is important is our direct engagement with the traditional rulers, market women, everybody, businessmen. Please, you have got to come and go about your business. Let me tell you, in the recent time, we haven't had unnecessary molestation of our people in parts of Southeast. But it's just the fear, euphoria of what did happen shortly before the recent time that made people to think that coming out may endanger their lives. So we have gone on advocacy to let them know. So that period, I can say that people still went about their business. But the invitation to see Mr. President was not for all the Southeasterners, it was for leaders.
All right.
And of course, they were invited and they came.
Let's talk about your principal, the governor of Ebonyi State, Mr. Umahi, and what he has actually done since, let me just put it into context, since moving from the PDP to the APC. He's a huge believer of President Muhammadu Buhari. But talk to us. What are the developments that the state has really enjoyed since that particular defection? And how has it also lifted the mood in Ebonyi State?
Yeah, you need to appreciate the principle, what I call the medicine and jurisprudence behind the defection. It was just all about the sheer need, an utter need to launch Southeast, and of course, particularly Ebonyi State, into the mainstream of national governance, QED. Now, what does this mean? In the history of political development, pre-1960, post-1960, even the First Republic, Second Republic, Southeast had always mainstream with a party at the center. The governor came on board under a party that was supposed to be at the center. As he was contesting, he was winning, but the party at the center had to collapse, and collapse woefully. But governor still annealed and moved, of course, because of the support of the people, he still went contested under that opposition party. But as chairman of Southeast Governors Forum, he needed to mainstream our people, and we are better for it. In Ebonyi State today, all the achievements the governor made was because of the way and manner he cooperated with the party at the center. We cooperated with the presidency, and so all the CBN programs, all the presidential programs, even the SIP, is being stepped down in Ebonyi State. Today, Ebonyi State is celebrating wonderful transformation like never before. Today, let me tell you, apart from Ebonyi State apart from Lagos and Abuja, Ebonyi State, poor Ebonyi State has the highest number of flyovers. You may ask me, what is the need for this? The governor is looking at 100 years to come. Now it's opening up all the rural communities. Today, agriculture is thriving in Ebonyi State because of what the governor has done. Today, the kind of road concept we have is what Dangote did in Apapa, and that is a concept of road construction that is 8 inches concrete pavement that has a minimum of 50 years guarantee. This has used to network the entire state. This is because of the cooperation he has with Mr. President and the APC-led administration. Today we have Africa's biggest shopping mall. Today, yes, Mr. Bruce said it when he came to Ebonyi State. I am not exaggerating. And it's going to take no less than 5,000 number of shops. And these shops are being redistributed to Ebonyi people.
Right.
Today we are having so many developmental strides, including airport that is going on, and it's going to be factored after Abuja and Lagos. So many other developmental strides that the governor has attained. I wish
you and your principal, talking about the governor of Ebonyi State, Governor Umahi, all the best as they complete the tenure.
Thank you so much for coming to discuss with us this afternoon.
I appreciate it.